Mr. Guerrero, Mr. Guerrero, did you enter into an agreement with defendant MJ Auto General Sales?
Sí,
Yes.
What was this agreement for?
que me vendieron ese carro y me lo dieron con garantía. Pues nomás lo usamos 2 días y se desbarató el carro y se lo entregué, que me lo daba garantizado que no tenía nada.
That they sold me this car, that it was under warranty, and I only used it for 2 days, and when I had to take it back to them because it fell apart.
Okay, let's break that down a bit. What kind of vehicle were you purchasing?
Un carro Mazda 2007.
A 2007 Mazda.
And what was the condition of the vehicle that was represented to you?
Porque desde que me dieron el carro me dieron un tailo que decía salvis y yo le pregunté que por qué tenía salvis, que si el carro estaba dañado, tenía algún accidente o algo. No, dice el carro no tiene nada. Dice los tailos los dan aquí en Dallas, los dan así, dice después le va a llegar su tailo bien todo, pero cuando me cambiaron el tailo me lo cambiaron y me llevó salvis otra vez y fue cuando les entregué el carro estaba mal.
Well, they gave me a salvage title, and they told me that the titles here in Dallas all came out like that, but that when I would be issued a new title, that it would come out okay. However, when the new title came, it also came out salvaged, they were telling me that the title, that the car was fine. However, the car was damaged because it had a salvage title.
And you believe that you were to receive a clean Texas title for the vehicle?
Sí, es lo que yo pensaba, que me iban a dar un título limpio y no, me llevó salvis otra vez y no.
Yes,
no
I thought that I was.
mintieron.
Yes, I thought that I was going to get a clean title, but no, it came out salvaged again, and I was expecting to get a clean title.
And when you brought this issue up to the defendant, were you informed that you would receive a clean title after they filed something with the with DPS?
Sí, es lo que me dijeron, que me iba a llevar un título limpio y me llevó salvis otra vez y no. Por eso sí, yo se les entregué que no se ve el carro.
Yes, that's what I was told, that I was going to get a clean title, but no, it came out salvaged again, and that's what they told me, that I was going to get a clean one, but I didn't.
So you got a salvage title when you told you were going to get a clean title. What about mechanically? What was the condition of the vehicle?
Pues de mecánico no sé, porque el mecánico me dijo que estaba bueno el carro, que él lo había arreglado, que estaba bien el carro y pues que me lo llevara, tenía garantía y como que era, yo no lo llevamos así, ¿no? Y lo llevé a cambiar allá para donde vivimos y me dijeron que tenía que tener un título azul y se los entregué para atrás, pero de mecánica no sirvió. 2 días nomás lo usamos y se nos desbarató y lo entregamos para atrás.
No, well, mechanically, I don't know. The mechanic told me that he had repaired the vehicle and that I was going to have that I had a warranty. So we took the vehicle with us to where I live, and but no, I mean the salvage, the title was still salvaged, and that's when I took it back. But mechanically, I don't know. The title was still salvaged.
Okay, and mechanically, what was the issue that you experienced with the vehicle?
Can't hear.
Pues el carro pues, se quebró nomás y no sé qué es lo que pasó, se desbarató y no sé qué es lo que se desbarató, se lo trajimos a él otra vez, que lo iba a arreglar y nos lo dio para atrás al tiempo y el carro no sirvió tampoco, no sé qué es lo que le haría.
Well, mechanically, I don't know. The car broke down and it fell apart, and we took it back to them so that they could fix it. But then they gave it back to us, and it still wasn't never working.
After you took it back, were you told that this vehicle would be repaired and returned to you in a working condition?
Sí, sí, dijo que me lo iba a arreglar bien, que me lo iba a entregar, pero pues el carro cuando llovía le entraba el agua para adentro, no sé, en el piso del lado del volante estaba todo lleno de agua cuando llovía, no sé qué es lo que tendría el carro.
Yes, I was told that it was going to be repaired, but whenever it would rain, water would get inside, like on the driver's side on the floor. But I don't know what they were supposed to do to it or what was wrong with it or anything, but it wasn't repaired.
Okay, so my question that I'm asking, was the vehicle ever returned to you in a repaired condition?
Sí, me lo regresó otra vez para atrás, pero sí, me lo dio para atrás, así, pero no sirvió el carro, no se lo traje a la semana para atrás otra vez.
Yes, it was repaired and returned to me, but it was never really repaired because I brought it back a week later again.
Okay, so as far as a permanent repair would go, that's not something that you received.
No, nunca me lo arreglaron bien, el carro se vio igual, ¿no?
Oh, they never repaired it correctly. The car continued to be in the same condition.
And at the time that you were purchasing the vehicle, how much did you pay for the vehicle?
Pagué $5,000 cash.
I paid $5,000 in cash.
I'm going to show you what is pre-marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit B. Do you see that on your screen?
Muy bien. Sí.
Yes.
And Your Honor, these were already pre-admitted, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Guerrero, do you recognize the document?
Sí.
Yes.
And what is this document?
Esa es la esto de venta.
It's the thing for the sale.
Okay, you recognize the date on there?
Sí, es el marzo 16, el 19.
Yes, it's March 16th of 2019.
Who is listed on this as the seller?
JM Auto.
JM Auto.
Is that MJ Auto in general?
Sí.
Yes.
And are you listed on the bill of sale as the purchaser?
Sí.
Yes.
And does the bill of sale reflect the $5,000 that you provided to Defendant?
Los veo. Sí, sí.
I don't know. Yes.
And the vehicle information listed here, is that the information for the vehicle that you were purchasing?
Sí, esa es la información, sí.
Yes, that is information. Yes.
And if we look at the bottom of the document of Exhibit B, is there a signature for the seller, MJ Auto in general?
Sí, es la misma de.
Yes, that's his signature. Yes.
Okay, and this document reflects the agreement that you had with Defendant to purchase the vehicle, right?
Sí.
Yes.
And is that document in English?
Sí.
Yes.
And as far as your understanding of English, are you able to read that entire document?
Entonces yo sé mucho inglés, sí, pero sí, pues le veo.
Well, I don't know a lot of English, but yes, I can understand it.
Are you able to piece together who the seller, who the buyer is?
Sí, sí.
Yes.
And if we're talking about a big paragraph, are you able to read English?
No puedo leer mucho.
No, I can't read much.
If I direct you to this middle paragraph of Plaintiff's Exhibit B, can you understand that paragraph?
No lo entiendo.
No, I don't understand that.
And Mr. Guerrero, when you were negotiating or working out this agreement to purchase the vehicle, who were you communicating with?
O con el mecánico, el ayudante del dealer.
Oh, with the mechanic, the helper there from the dealership.
And were you communicating in Spanish?
Sí, en español, sí, porque no entiendo mucho inglés.
Yes, in Spanish, yes, because I don't understand much English.
In your dealings with this mechanic or helper, did you believe that he was an employee of Defendant, the dealership?
Sí, porque él me dijo que le ayudaba al dealer a trabajar. ¿No?
Yes, because he told me that he helped the dealer there to work.
And based on those conversations with him, you purchased the vehicle from Defendant, correct? The dealership?
Sí, pues me entendía con él, como no sé mucho inglés, me entendía con él todo. Pues él me decía que él trabajaba para él, le ayudaba a él.
Well, yes, I mean, I talked to him because I don't understand a lot of English. So yes, I was talking to him because he told me he worked for him.
Okay, so it's your belief that the money that you provided was going to the dealer, right?
Sí, porque yo le pregunté cuando le entregué el carro para atrás, yo le pregunté que me diera mi dinero, no dijo así nada como me lo dio, yo se lo llevé al del dealer.
Yes, because when I took the car back and I asked him to give my money back, he said no, that he had given that money just as I gave it to him, he had turned it over to the dealer.
And I'm going to show you what's already been pre-admitted as Plaintiff's Exhibit D. Do you see that on the screen?
Sí, las placas que me habían dado.
Yes, that's the place that they had given me. Yes.
Okay, are these the temporary dealer tags?
Sí, son las placas que me mandaron temporales mientras que agarraban los otros, que me mandaban las otras, sí.
Yes, it's the temporary place that they had sent to me while I got the other plates. Yes.
And does Plaintiff's Exhibit D contain the information for the vehicle that you purchased from Defendant MJ Auto?
Sí.
Yes, it does. Yes.
And on these dealer tags, is Defendant MJ Auto listed as the seller?
Sí.
Yes, I see it. Yes.
And I'm going to show you what's been pre-admitted as Plaintiff's Exhibit E. Do you see that on the screen?
E. Yes.
Do you recognize what this is?
Sí.
Yes.
Is this the title to the Mazda that you purchased from Defendant MJ Auto?
Sí.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
And if we look at the previous owner, is Defendant MJ Auto listed as the previous owner?
Sí, también.
And the very next
Yes,
owner.
also, yes.
And the very next owner is you, correct?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And does the title reflect the salvage description that was not disclosed to you?
Sí, sí.
You're not showing the whole thing, so I don't see where it says salvage.
Yes, yes.
That better, Your Honor.
No, no se ve ahí.
Yeah, no, I can't see it there.
Can you see it now, Mr. Guerrero?
No cambió nada. No.
Nothing changed. No.
Right.
Neither.
Can you
I
see
see it now.
exhibit? Can you see Exhibit E with a blue circle on it?
Sí.
Yes.
And is that the salvage description of the vehicle?
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that is correct.
And this is the title that you received to the 2007 Mazda that you purchased from Defendant MJ Auto, correct?
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
And you did not find out that this vehicle was salvaged until you received a copy of the title, is that correct?
Sí, hasta que mandaron los otros títulos.
Yes, until they sent another title. Yes.
So I want to go back to when you provided Defendant MJ Auto $5,000 for the 2007 Mazda. At that time, when you provided that money, had you been informed or had it been represented to you that you were buying a vehicle with a clean Texas title?
Sí, es lo que me habían dicho, sí, porque yo le pregunté de eso, que si tenía algún daño o algo, ¿no? Con todo está bien, más que si los dan en Dallas, ahorita, después le va a llegar un título limpio.
Yes, that's what I was told, because they told me that I was going to receive a clear title, and that's the way things work in Dallas. But no, it wasn't that way.
And the title that you received is the one that has been shown before the court today as Plaintiff's Exhibit E, correct?
Sí.
Yes, that one.
And at the time that you provided the $5,000 to Defendant MJ Auto, was it represented to you that the vehicle was in a good running and mechanical condition?
Sí, sí, creo que estaba correctamente, que estaba garantizado, que no va a tener problemas con él, y pues nomás 2 días nos aguantó el carro y se desbarató.
Yes, I was told that the car was in good condition, but I mean, I only used it for 2 days, and then the car fell apart.
And after the vehicle failed mechanically, aside from the $5,000 that you had already provided to Defendant MJ Auto, did you incur any other expenses?
Sí, porque me pidieron dinero para cambiar el título, placas y todo eso, $500.
Yes, because they also asked me for $500 to change the title and the plates and all that.
Did you incur any other expenses after you returned the Mazda back to Defendant?
No, ocupé una traila, alguien que me lo trajera, pedí una traila yo para traérselos para acá, para entregárselos, pero pues, me prestaron una traila con una troca para traer porque no tenía mueble yo.
Well, I mean, since I didn't have a car, I had to borrow a truck and a trailer from somebody so that I could bring it back to them.
And after you brought the Mazda back, you were left without a vehicle, correct?
Sí, me quedé sin vehículo, no tuve que pedir un carro para usar porque no tenían que trabajar, porque pues me había dicho que ese carro estaba muy bueno y no tenían que mover, y tuve que pedir un carro y duré mucho tiempo, porque duré mucho tiempo echándole mecánica al carro y me prestaron un mueble también y tuve que pagarlo también porque pues duré mucho tiempo y con el mueble ese tuve que pagarlo para atrás porque no tenían que moverme.
Yes, I was left without a vehicle, and since they took a long time working on it mechanically and all that, I ended up having to borrow a vehicle from somebody else. And because they took so long, I ended up having to pay for that vehicle as well, because I didn't have a vehicle to go to work or anything. So I ended up having to pay for that vehicle also.
Guerrero, you had to purchase another vehicle?
Sí, tuve que comprar otro vehículo porque pues no tenía que moverme.
Well, yes, I had to buy another vehicle because I didn't have any way to get around.
And how much did you spend on this new vehicle that you had to buy?
$2,000.
$2,000.
And if the 2007 Mazda had been in the working condition that had been represented to you, you wouldn't have had to incur this additional expense, correct?
Es correcto, no hubiera hecho esos gastos.
That is correct. I wouldn't have made that extra expense.
And if I'm just summarizing correctly, it was $5,000 that you paid originally for the Mazda, correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
And an additional $500 for what I'm assuming is title and document fees. Is that correct?
Sí, correcto. Y luego también le saqué aseguranza porque saco aseguranza por 6 meses y pues la pagué. Yo pagué $300 de aseguranza también.
Yes, and I also paid insurance for 6 months. So I mean, I paid $300 for nothing.
That was in addition to the $500 that you paid for title and documents?
Sí.
Yes, Yes, that was on top of that.
An additional $2,000 to buy a replacement vehicle?
Comprar otro vehículo para moverme, sí.
Yeah, to buy another car for me to get around. Yes.
So if my math is correct, total expenses for you in purchasing the vehicle, getting the title and documents, the insurance, and acquiring a replacement vehicle is $7,800. Does that sound correct to you?
Sí, por ahí más o menos, sí.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yes.
Mr. Guerrero, I'm going to show you what's been pre-admitted as Plaintiff's Exhibit A. Do you see that on the screen?
Sí, no muy bien.
Yes, but not very well.
How about there?
Sí.
Yes.
Is this the pre-suit notice that was sent to defendant, the DTPA pre-suit notice?
Sí.
Yes.
And is the date that this was sent out May 10th, 2019?
Sí.
Yes.
And as far as you're aware, is the lawsuit before the court, was that filed at least 2 months after the date this letter was sent out?
Okay, sí.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Guerrero, I am going to show you one last document.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you see Plaintiff's Exhibit C on the screen?
Sí.
Have you ever seen this document before?
No lo había visto.
No, I hadn't seen it.
I'll represent to you that this is a bill of sale involving the same vehicle that was sold at the end of 2018.
Okay, sí, pero
Okay.
no había
I didn't know about that they had been sold previously.
This was not disclosed to you, was it?
No me habían dicho nada de eso.
No, they hadn't told me anything.
It seems like about 3 months before the vehicle was sold to you, correct?
Pues es lo que dice ahí, sí, pero pues yo no me han dicho nada. A mí no me dijo que él le ayudaba al dealer a trabajar y me metió el carro.
Well, that's what it says there, but no, I wasn't told that. That I just went and bought the car from the dealer there.
So this previous sale was never disclosed to you, right?
No, pues si me hubieran dicho no lo hubiera comprado, porque si ya estaba vendido, porque no lo hubiera comprado yo.
No, if they had told me that, I wouldn't have purchased it.
And because you weren't informed of this, and you weren't informed of the mechanical state or condition of the vehicle, or that the vehicle was salvaged, you went ahead and bought the vehicle, right?
Correcto, no me habían dicho nada.
Correct. They hadn't told me anything.
And at the time that you provided the $5,000 to defendant MJ Auto, you were unaware that these were false misrepresentations, right?
Es correcto, no me habían dicho.
That is correct. They hadn't told me.
And then when time came that you got all the necessary documents to finalize the purchase, all the documents you received depict MJ Auto as the seller, correct?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
And as a result of the transaction and the misrepresentations, you incurred damages in the amount of $7,800, correct?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
And are you asking the court today to award you at least $7,800 in damages?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And are you also asking the court for treble damages pursuant to the DTPA?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And is that based upon the misrepresentations by defendant MJ Auto?
Sí, sí.
Yes.
And do you believe that those misrepresentations were intentional or knowingly?
Sí, yo creo que ya sabían ellos, sí, porque no me hubieran avisado algo, porque yo les pregunté muchas veces, no, todo, que el carro estaba bien, no tenía ningún daño ni nada, y no sé por qué me engañaron así, nada.
Yes, I think they knew because I asked them several times, that the car was in good condition and all that, and they didn't tell me anything. So I think that's why they misrepresented themselves and lied to me.
And do you believe that these misrepresentations were made with the intent to take advantage of you?
Sí, yo creo que eso fue que tomaron ventaja para vender el carro así, ¿no?
Yes, I think they took advantage of me and sold me the car in that way.
And are you asking the court today for attorney's fees as well?
Sí, todos mis gastos que he hecho yo, sí, yo estoy viendo todos mis gastos que he gastado. He trabajado mucho para eso, porque me iban a engañar así, ¿no?
Yes, yes, all my expenses that I have incurred, yes, because I've worked very hard for that money for them to cheat me that way.
And have you paid all the invoices that have been provided to you by my office?
Sí, ya está pagando todo, ya, todo está pagado.
Yes, I've been paying for everything. Everything has been paid.
And with the amount of attorney's fees that you've paid up until today before trial, are those attorney's fees $3,341.50?
Eso sí, pero voy a pagar otro dinero aparte también, otros 1,500.
Well, yes, but I had paid also another separate $1,500 as well.
If we add those together, would that amount come out to $4,841 with 50 cents?
Sí, yo creo que sí, por ahí.
Yes, I think so, somewhere around there, yes,
Are you also asking the court for attorney's fees that you're incurring today for trial and presenting your case before the court?
Sí, 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 estoy pidiendo todo eso. Ujú.
Yes, I am asking for all of that, yes,
That's the witness, Your Honor.
Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor, a lot.
Okay.
Mr. Guerrero, have you ever met, or do you know a Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna?
Sí, ujú.
Yes,
Okay, who is Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna?
Pues es el ayudante, me dijo que era el ayudante del dealer. Ujú.
Well, he's the helper, the helper from the dealer.
Okay, did you paid Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna $5,000 to purchase this vehicle, correct?
Sí, ujú.
Yes,
And Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna, he was the one who gave you the keys to the vehicle, correct?
Correcto. Ujú.
correct,
And you purchased the vehicle from him what was the day and month you purchased the vehicle from Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna?
Fue en marzo 16 del 2019.
It was March 16th of 2019.
Well, not so when did you physically receive the keys to the vehicle?
O ese día, el 16, marzo 16 del 19.
Oh, that day of the 16th of March of 2019.
Okay. And so you purchased on March 16th, 2019, the vehicle from Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna, correct?
Oh, well, yes, because he said that he worked for the dealer. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask, can you see on the Zoom? I'm going to ask you to look on the Zoom here at the people on the call and identify anybody you've ever talked to regarding the vehicle. Do you see anybody you've ever talked to regarding the vehicle other than your attorney?
No, other than my attorney, no.
Okay, so there's two gentlemen. I'm going to ask the MJ Auto employees, can you and owner Mr. Reyna and Mr. Ishola, can you please raise your hands? Okay, Mr. Guerrero, have you ever seen these individuals before?
I think Mr. Garcia fell off the call.
I see.
Well, I don't see anyone. And Your Honor, just so you're informed, I have Mr. Guerrero on the phone, which doesn't mean he's necessarily on the Zoom call.
Okay, can he hear the Zoom call?
No, the call is blank, Your Honor. He can't see the Zoom call right now.
Your Honor, I'm on my phone. I think our server just went down. I'm gonna go sit in with Mr. Guerrero.
While he's doing that, Mr. Seth, can you spell the Joaquin, the last name, or that name, Joaquin?
Yes, ma'am. Joaquin Alberto Reyna, R-E-Y-N-A.
And Joaquin?
Joaquin.
Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, I am with the witness.
Okay. Let's proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Guerrero, how did you identify, how did you find, when did you first meet Mr. Reyna, the person you purchased the vehicle from?
El día que agarré el carro, el marzo 16 de 2019.
The day that I got the car on March 16, 2019.
Okay, and how you met him on that day? How did you find or locate the car? How did that come about?
O en el teléfono conocí por Facebook.
Oh, I met him on the phone.
Okay, and how did you get his number to call him?
O lo tenían ahí en la Facebook.
Oh, they had it there on Facebook.
Okay, so you saw an ad for the vehicle on Facebook, correct?
Sí.
Yes,
And when you saw this ad for this vehicle on Facebook, what was the Facebook site that you saw it on? Was it Mr.
Oh,
No sé, porque mi hijo es el que estaba viendo ahí eso.
Well, I don't know because my son was the one that was looking at that on the phone.
So your son saw a vehicle on Facebook, and you picked up and called and spoke to the number that you saw on Facebook, correct?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then when you saw the ad on Facebook, you met with Mr. Reyna. You agreed to pay him $5,000 for the vehicle, and he gave you the keys to the vehicle all on March 16, 2019, correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
Okay. And the vehicle stopped working at some point, correct?
Sí.
Yes, correct.
And the vehicle stopped work. What was the date that the vehicle stopped working?
Uy, no me acuerdo porque no lo llevamos, me lo llevé y no me cambiaron el título donde lo llevé a cambiar. Y le hablé a ellos, me dijo que les mandara las copias para poder sacarme las placas y cambiar el título acá, porque nada más lo quisieron cambiar allá donde vivo yo. Duró mucho tiempo que me lo mandaron y ya después me lo mandaron con las placas esas de cartón con tiempo. Y apenas lo empecé a manejar cuando me lo arreglaron y 2 días nomás y se me levantó, me aventó 2 días.
I don't remember because when I went and I tried to get the plates at the place over here by where I live, I wasn't able to get the license plates. So then I had to call them, and then they took them a long time to get me the plates, the cardboard plates that they gave me. And then after that, I think I maybe used the vehicle for like 2 days, and that was it.
Okay. So it took a few months to get the plates, correct?
Sí, correcto, pues es que tanto se debería decir para que me mandaran las placas.
Yes, correct. I'm not sure exactly how long it took for them to get me the plates.
Well, it was more than 1 month, correct?
Or somewhere around there. I don't remember how long it really took.
Okay. Well, could it have been 3 months after you purchased the vehicle that you finally got the plates?
No tanto así, nada más poco.
No, not that long. It was less.
Okay. So it was between 1 month and 3 months, correct?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, somewhere around there, correct.
So between 1 month and 3 months it took to get the plates. And then after you put the plates, you drove the car for 2 days and it broke. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then you returned the vehicle to when the engine didn't work. When the engine didn't work, you returned it
Jorge dejó
to
de
Mr.
trabajar.
Reyna, correct?
Regresó al señor Reina, ¿correcto?
Correcto. Ujú.
Correct, uh-huh.
And Mr. Reyna had the engine rebuilt, correct?
Correcto. Sí.
Correct, uh-huh.
And then the vehicle with the rebuilt motor was returned to you, correct?
Correcto. Ujú.
Correct, uh-huh.
And you still have the vehicle today, correct?
No. El vehículo lo entregué cuando me lo entregó, que lo reparó. Lo tuve una semana, ya nomás lo manejamos y lo traje en una traila para atrás otra vez y se lo entregué porque le dije que salían muchos códigos del motor. Y lo dijo, oh, no se los quité, tráigamelos para quitárselos. Pero ya le voy a quitar los códigos también allá y volvieron otra vez para atrás, pero el carro no servía porque estaba fallando mucho, por eso le entregué. Porque me dijo, ¿por qué no trae el trailer? Le digo, es que no sirve el carro, se lo traigo a entregar para atrás. Yo
No,
pongo
no.
mi dinero. Ujú.
No, I returned the vehicle again a week later because the vehicle was showing up a lot of different codes and things like that. So I brought it back, and then he asked me, why are you bringing it back on a trailer? And I said, because the car is showing up a lot of codes and it's not working right. And I left it there.
And that you brought it back to Mr. Reyna, correct?
Sí, correcto, sí, se lo entregué.
Yes, I brought it back to him right away.
Okay, and where is the vehicle today?
Oh, no sé, yo se lo entregué al señor Reina, yo se lo entregué, no sé dónde lo tienen.
Well, that's what I don't know. I gave it back to Mr. Reyna, so I don't know where it is.
And just to complete and conclude, Mr. Reyna is not here today, correct? You don't see him.
No, no sé.
No, I don't see him, no.
And you don't remember the ad that you saw that was for the vehicle, correct? You don't know it.
¿El anuncio?
The ad?
Correct. The Facebook ad. You don't know it. Your son saw it. You didn't.
Sí.
Yes.
And the gentlemen who are here representing, who are with MJ Auto, you've never met them before. Is that correct?
No. No he visto nadie.
No, I haven't seen anyone.
I'm going to show you. Pass the witness, Judge.
Okay.
Mr. Guerrero, earlier you testified that you were in contact with the mechanic or helper of MJ Auto, correct?
Yes,
Objection.
correct. Huh?
Is this the same person that you were just discussing with opposing counsel?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the basis of your objection?
Well, first off, I don't understand how he can identify Mr. Reyna and what his position is with my client.
Your Honor, this is based on information and belief from Mr. Guerrero.
Yeah, Yeah, he can ask the question, and if that's what he believes, I mean, it's not, yeah, overruled.
Ask my question again. The individual that you were discussing with opposing counsel a few minutes ago, is that the individual that you believe to be the mechanic or helper for MJ Auto?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. You can answer. I can't hear
Yes.
that.
Well, yes, he had told me that he worked there, that he helped them there.
And during your communications with that individual, at any time, did he disclose that he was the owner of the vehicle?
No, él no me dijo que era dueño, no. El dealer era el dueño, el que me dijo, porque le dije, firmas que te voy a dejar aquí el carro. No, dice, no, yo no tengo que firmar porque no es mío.
No, he never told me that he was the owner. He told me that it was from the dealer, and he told me that he was helping me with the transaction there.
And as far as payment, was payment going to the dealer directly? Was he just the middleman?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
He can answer if he knows.
Sí, es lo que me dijo, porque yo cuando le pedí el dinero, dijo que se lo había llevado al dealer.
Yes, because when I asked him for the money, he told me that he had turned it over to the dealer.
And at any point during your conversations with this individual, did you believe that you were not purchasing a vehicle from Defendant MJ Auto?
No.
No,
No sé, sí, porque él me dijo que trabajaba para él y es lo que no supe yo de eso.
no, because he told me that he worked for them, so I never knew anything about that.
And all the documents that are before the court today that you received, the seller is listed as Defendant MJ Auto, correct?
Sí, sí.
Yes,
And there are no documents before the court that show otherwise, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for legal conclusion on that one.
Overruled. You can answer.
Sí.
yes,
Mr. Guerrero, let me ask my last question differently. The documents that were provided to you did not list any individual or other entity aside from Defendant MJ Auto as the seller and the previous owner of the 2007 Mazda, correct?
Es correcto.
that is correct,
That's the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, I would call Juan Guerrero.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes, Your Honor.
please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And do you need a translator?
No.
Mr. Guerrero, can you state your name for the record?
Juan Daniel Guerrero.
And Mr. Guerrero, was this 2007 Mazda supposed to be for you?
Yes, correct.
And how long did you have the vehicle?
Not long. I mean, yeah, not long at all.
And as far as you're concerned, why was the vehicle returned?
So as soon as we started moving it, it did only last us 2 days. The motor broke and we returned it.
Okay. And as far as negotiating or working out the agreement to purchase the vehicle. Were you involved in that?
A little bit.
How were you involved?
Well, I mean, I found the ad. It turned out to be, was it Joaquin's wife that posted it? She sent us the address. We met up with Joaquin, and that's how I got my dad and Joaquin together.
So as far as seeing the ad and obtaining the phone number, that was your only involvement?
Yes.
And as far as any negotiations or what have you, you were not involved in anything further?
No.
And as a result of the vehicle breaking down, the vehicle was returned, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you're personally aware of the expenses that your dad incurred?
Yes.
And you're aware that your dad paid $5,000 for this vehicle?
Yes.
And that he had to return the vehicle and incurred an additional $500 in title document fees?
Correct.
And he incurred $300 in insurance for this vehicle that was returned?
Yes.
And as a result of having to return this vehicle, you're personally aware that your dad had to purchase another vehicle that cost him $2,000?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any cross?
Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Guerrero, do you know if your father paid cash or wrote a check for the car?
It was
The
cash.
Mazda. Cash. And pass witness.
Nothing further from plaintiff, Your Honor, for that witness.
All right, calling the next witness.
Your Honor, I call myself for attorney's fees.
Can we stipulate as to the amount of attorney's fees, or do you want to do cross on this?
Stipulate that 4,800 is reasonable and necessary, Your Honor.
Garcia, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
Your Honor,
Plaintiff Bress.
Your Honor,
Call your first-
move for judgment on the fact, move for judgment on the fact that they have not established that the vehicle was purchased from my client, so that my client's made any representations to Mr. Guerrero regarding the vehicle.
Overruled.
Thank you.
Call your first witness.
Your Honor, Defendant calls Mr. Joseph Ana, the president of MJ Auto.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? He's muted.
Joseph, you're muted.
You're muted. You need to unmute. You need to unmute.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and proceed.
Mr. Ana, please introduce yourself to the court. What's your full name?
My name is Joseph Aino.
Okay.
No, I'm General.
And how do you spell your last name, sir?
A-I-N-A.
Mr. Ana, how are you currently employed? What's your work?
I sell cars and I repair cars.
Okay. And who do you sell cars for?
To customer, but I do not sell cars to Mr. Alberto.
And how are you related, if at all, to MJ Auto?
Sir?
Who is MJ Auto?
But that's my company. I'm the owner.
And so basically you own MJ Auto, and the business of MJ Auto is the purchase and sale of vehicles, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does MJ Auto have a physical location?
It's 42119 East Overton Road, Dallas, Texas, 75216.
What? I could not understand that. 42 what?
4219 East Overton Road.
Overton?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Road, Dallas, Texas, 75216.
Okay.
And does MJ Auto maintain an inventory of vehicles at that location?
Yes, sir.
About how many vehicles does MJ Auto maintain at that location at any time?
We have more than up to 50 cars.
Does anybody else sell vehicles from MJ Auto's location on Overton?
Rather than my brother.
I'm sorry?
Nobody else.
What at the Overton location, what's the physical premises? What buildings are located there?
I didn't get a question.
Well, is there a small office building that you use for selling cars?
Yes.
Is there a garage where cars are repaired?
Yes.
Okay. And how many people are located at that Overton location at any time?
Let me say, there's another in the same complex. We have a 421, 4207, 4205. But I'm on 42119.
So at the Overton location, how many employees are normally there at MJ Auto?
Oh, just two.
Two. And who are those employees?
Precious Brown and sometimes he helped me, Abubakar.
Sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Precious Brown.
Okay. And the second name?
And Abubakar.
Spell that for me. I'm sorry.
Abdulkabeer.
Thank you.
Mr. Reyna, who, if any, do you know who Joaquin Alberto Reyna is?
No.
Have you ever met Mr. Reyna before?
No.
Is Mr. Reyna an employee of MJ Auto?
No.
Has Mr. Reyna ever been an employee of MJ Auto?
No.
Did MJ Auto sell a vehicle to Mr. Guerrero?
No.
Okay. How is MJ Auto connected, if at all, to the 2007 Mazda CX-7 that's the subject of this lawsuit?
Abubakar bought the car. So the car is not doing okay. Then he took it to the mechanic, and the mechanic said, okay, he liked the car. He's going to buy it. Then he sold the car to the mechanic for $2,000. Then I don't know anything about it until when Abubakar came back with the ID and said, he sold the car to his brother. I want to do the registration and the distance that him and do it. That's how the MJ got involved in the registration.
I'm going to show you what's been pre-admitted as Exhibit 1. I'm showing you Defendant's Exhibit 1. Is this the bill of sale from MJ Auto to Mr. Joaquin Alberto Reyna for $2,000?
Yes.
And what was the condition of the vehicle when it was sold to Mr. Reyna?
It has a mechanical problem.
Say that again. It had a mechanical problem?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the mechanical problem?
Engine problem, like the engine was not running good.
And how did MJ Auto acquire this vehicle?
We bought it from Copat, from the auction.
And then you in turn sold it to Mr. Reyna, who you understood was a mechanic who repaired the vehicle.
Yes.
But you had never met Mr. Reyna before, correct?
No.
And you've not met Mr. Reyna since, correct?
No.
And was the vehicle repaired on your premises?
No.
On Overton?
No.
Do you know where the vehicle was repaired?
No, I don't know, but my friend, my brother took the car to the mechanic shop.
Do you know where the vehicle is today?
I don't know.
Is the vehicle at the Overton Road location?
No.
So when the vehicle was sold to Mr. Reyna, why was title not issued to Mr. Reyna upon the sale of that vehicle from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna?
Because the title was still under MJ Auto. So when he sold it, he sold it to his brother that I should help him to do the transfer of the title. He gave it to my brother, then he brought it to me.
But why did you not change the title to Mr. Reyna when the vehicle was sold to Mr. Reyna?
I wasn't, my brother did the business. I was not aware of it.
I didn't understand that answer. What did he say? What did you say?
I said my brother took the car to the mechanic. I didn't know when he stole the car, but later he brought the car that okay, want to do a registration for this, that the mechanic he stole the car to wanted to do a registration for this customer, his brother.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what has been admitted as defendant's exhibit number 2. Are you aware of this document?
No.
Whose signatures are on this document?
I don't know.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as defendant's exhibit 3. Have you ever
Objection,
seen
hearsay, Your Honor.
I'm trying to introduce it, Your Honor.
That's fine.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as defendant's exhibit number 3. Are you familiar with this document?
You're going to have to blow it up. I can't read it at all.
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen this document before?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. Stop there. I'll ask you some questions about it. I'm going to take it off real quick. Does MJ Auto, who at MJ Auto is responsible for the business records of MJ Auto?
Hello?
Yeah, who is responsible for the records at MJ Auto? Who maintains the records such as the documents?
No, Precious.
Okay, and is that your brother?
Yeah, sometimes he does it. If Precious Brown is not around.
Okay, and are you ultimately the custodian or the keeper of the records of MJ Auto? Is that your acting president? Okay, and is it normal for MJ Auto to receive records concerning vehicles and to take those records and put them into the records in the regular course of its business?
Yes.
And is it normal for somebody at MJ Auto in the regular course of the business of MJ Auto to include such information within the records of MJ Auto?
I didn't get a question, please.
Okay. When MJ Auto receives a complaint about a vehicle, is it normal for MJ Auto to investigate?
Yes, when I received the mail, I called the number. I said I did not sell car to this customer. I don't know who the customer is. I said you need to go and talk to the person that you bought the car from.
And such investigation was made as part of the records of MJ Auto in the normal course of MJ Auto's business, correct?
Yes.
And this is a true and correct copy of the records of MJ Auto with respect to its investigation of this vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, move to admit defendant's exhibit number 3 as a business record of MJ Auto.
Your Honor, objection on hearsay. This is an out-of-court statement made by an individual who could have been called to testify today and is not here. So it's an out-of-court statement trying to be used to prove the matters asserted that this individual is the owner.
Objection sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Aina, have you, in the course of your investigation of this matter, have you come to any conclusions as to who Mr. Reyna is and how he came to own the vehicle and who sold the vehicle to Mr. Guerrero?
No.
Okay. Do you know, I'm going to wrap it up now. So Mr. Aina, just to be clear, MJ Auto never sold this vehicle to Mr. Guerrero, correct?
No.
What is that, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Did MJ Auto sell the vehicle to Mr. Guerrero?
No, we did not know.
Okay. Who did MJ Auto sell the vehicle to again?
Oh, we sold it to the mechanic.
And what was the name of this mechanic?
Oh, Yakun.
It was Mr. Reyna. And how much was the sale of the vehicle to Mr. Reyna?
We sold the car to him for $2,000.
And then for some reason the title wasn't transferred from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna. So the vehicle is still in MJ Auto's name, correct?
Yes.
So Mr. Reyna asked MJ Auto to facilitate the transfer title to Mr. Guerrero, correct?
Yes.
And MJ Auto complied with that request, correct?
Yes.
Pass witness.
Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Is it Mr. Aina? Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Aina, earlier you testified that after you signed that first bill of sale in December of 2018, that you didn't have any more contact with Mr. Reyna. Is that correct?
Yes.
But then somehow later on, you apparently did have contact with him because you sold the vehicle and signed the title and did all of that, didn't you?
Objection, Your Honor. Ms. Lee.
Overruled.
You can answer, Mr. Aina.
The what?
You testified earlier that you had not had any contact with Mr. Reyna after December 2018. But
Yes.
somehow the documents and the titles to the vehicle had to be transferred. And these documents and title were still in MJ Auto's name, correct?
Yes.
So did Mr. Reyna reach out to you after 2018?
He reached out to my brother, not me.
Okay, and is your brother a part of MJ Auto?
Yes.
So he reached out to MJ Auto, correct?
Yes.
And did you see the documents that were previously shown, the bill of sale?
If you check the bill of sales, they are different.
Who's listed on the bill of sale?
I don't know. I'm not the one that issued that bill of sale. That's not my bill of sale.
Counsel, could you assist me? I'm on my cell phone. Can you show Defendant's Exhibit 1?
My Exhibit 1?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Aina, who's listed as the seller there?
That's my brother name. The one who sold the car to Yakun.
Objection non-responsive after my brother, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Can you scroll down to Exhibit 2, Counsel, please? Mr. Aina, who is listed as the seller on this bill of sale?
It's MJ Auto.
Okay, and that's your company, correct?
Yes.
And if we go down to the seller's name printed and seller's signature at the bottom of Defendant's Exhibit 2, who signed that document?
Not my brother.
Is it a signature from somebody at MJ Auto?
No.
Is that your address there?
And that's my address. But the car was not bought in my location.
But that's your address, isn't it?
Yes.
And did you disclose the previous bill of sale to Mr. Guerrero?
Because I didn't see him. I don't even know who he is until now.
Okay, then why did you sign the certificate of Texas title if you didn't know that this sale was going on?
My brother brought the title and the information because I can do it. title transfer for customers.
But you're aware that there was some kind of sale going on, wasn't it?
You know, he didn't tell me anything about sales until when I received a complaint from you. Then my brother went to go and meet him. Then he brought the bill of sales. I did not see anything. He said he's transferring it to his brother. That's what he told me. He did not mention anything about sales.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. Mr. Aino, what does MJ Auto do?
We sell cars and we repair cars.
Okay, so you're in the business of buying and selling vehicles, correct?
Yeah, I will repair.
How many vehicles do you believe MJ Auto has purchased and sold before?
More than 500.
500?
Yeah.
And when you buy a vehicle, does I'm assuming the auction or the seller has to sign off on the title, correct?
Yes.
And then you receive a title in MJ Auto's name?
Yes.
And then when you sell it, do you sign the back of the title so that the next owner can get the title in their name?
He signed it to him, yeah.
Okay, but just for any vehicle, MJ Auto, somebody from MJ Auto signs off on the title so that the title can be transferred to the purchaser, correct?
I didn't get that. Come again, please.
When MJ Auto sells a vehicle,
Yes.
somebody from MJ Auto has to sign off on the title so that the title can be transferred to the next owner, correct?
Yes.
And you previously testified that you've purchased and resold about 500 vehicles?
Yes.
And you're telling the court today that when the back of the title for this 2007 Mazda was signed, MJ Auto was not aware that the vehicle was being transferred?
I didn't sign it.
Somebody from MJ Auto did.
Yes, I know. Yes.
So the vehicle was being transferred from MJ Auto to Mr. Guerrero, correct?
Yes.
Objection,
And Bill-
objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
And the owner at the time of the sale was MJ Auto, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Garcia.
Mr. Aina, the certificate of title for the 2007 Mazda, that was under MJ Auto's name as the previous owner, correct?
Yes.
And once the title was transferred, it was transferred to Mr. Guerrero, correct?
What did he say? I couldn't hear him. Did you say yes?
Yes.
And the 2007 Mazda had temporary dealer tags with MJ Auto as the seller, correct?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I? Mr. Aina, the reason why there are temporary tags from MJ Auto was because MJ Auto had sold the vehicle to Mr. Reyna and had temporary tags on there for Mr. Reyna, correct?
Objection leading.
Sustained, rephrase.
Okay. Why would MJ Auto issue temporary tags?
I charge my brother charge your coin to do the transfer of 500. So in order for us to do the registration, we have to issue a buyer's tag.
So okay, when, if ever, did MJ Auto issue temporary tags for the 2007 Mazda?
What?
Okay. Did MJ Auto issue temporary tags for the 2007 Mazda?
Yes. I think so, yeah.
When?
Oh, that was February.
In February of what year?
Is it January or so? January. I think January.
Okay. And to whom were the tags issued in January or February of 2019?
Yeah,
Who received the temporary tags
Abubakar.
to the 2007 Mazda?
Yeah.
I didn't get that answer.
Yeah, Queen.
Okay.
Okay, so the temporary tags in January or February 2019 were issued to Mr. Reyna, correct?
Yeah.
And then for some reason, well, why, if you know, did Mr. Reyna not change the title from vehicle to his name?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Okay. When, if ever, did Mr. Reyna try to transfer the title of the vehicle 2007 Mazda from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna?
Come again, please.
When, if ever, was the title changed of the vehicle changed from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna?
But normally the title is salvage. The customer can do it by themselves, but we give the title to him. But he said he cannot do it right now. That okay, he don't want to do registration. That he want to do it to his brother. That he sold the car to his brother. That I want to do the registration to his brother.
So,
Mr. Seth, can you kind of paraphrase that one for me?
sure. I don't know if I can, ma'am. I don't think I don't want to get objected to. I don't know what to do.
Repeat the answer then. I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
I'll have to ask the question again in a non-leading way. When, if ever, did the title of the vehicle transfer from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna?
Once a car is a salvage title, we are allowed to give the title to the customer or to the buyer. But sometimes they don't want to do it, that they bring it back to us for us to do it. But normally we are allowed to give a salvage title to the customers to go and do it by themselves.
And who is the customer of MJ Auto?
Oh, yeah, Queen.
Mr. Joaquin Reyna?
Yeah.
Okay. And who were the temporary tags issued to?
Yeah, Queen.
Joaquin Reyna?
Yeah.
And what was the reason why a bill of sale why a bill of sale was issued to Mr. Well, I'll stop there. Why did MJ Auto agree to assist in the transfer of the title to Mr. Guerrero?
Oh, because he said, okay, you cannot do it. You cannot, I should assist him and do it. Then he gave it to my brother and he brought it.
One last question. Why was the I'm going to show you and share screen and show you Exhibit 1 again. On Exhibit 1, this is MJ Auto's bill of sale, correct?
Yes.
And this is your brother's name, right?
Yes.
And this is your brother's signature, right?
Yes.
And this is Alberto's signature, right?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Mr. Reyna, do you recall seeing the temporary dealer tags earlier?
What?
Do you recall seeing the temporary dealer tags for the Mazda earlier?
Yes.
And do you recall that the dealer tag listed MJ Auto as the seller?
Yes.
And the date on those dealer tags was approximately February 2019?
That was the expiration date.
Okay. And you state that there were temporary tags issued to Mr. Reyna?
I think so, yes.
But those aren't before the court today, are they?
No.
Pass the witness, Your
Your Honor, may I ask plaintiff to put those temporary tags up, please? I need, if he's we're crossing, they're his exhibit. I'd like to put back in evidence his exhibit. I believe it was DRE, which was the dealer tag. Can I see that, Juan? Mr. Garcia?
Your Honor, I don't have access to my computer. Our server is down. I'm on my phone.
Okay, let me just, if Your Honor will indulge me, I just need to pull it up. It's not in evidence. I'll have to pull it up on my side. Mr. Garcia, do you know if you ever sent me that a copy of that? Of that tag? Because I'm not seeing it here.
I don't have a way to confirm right now.
Okay. And there's no way for you to get me a copy of it right now?
Let me send you an email that I have from this morning that I used to get those exhibits. Okay, I just sent you that email.
Thank you. Your Honor, just so I can, while I'm waiting for that, there, okay. Okay. I'm just trying to, I'm opening up now, Your Honor, I received it. Okay. Mr. Reina, I'm showing you what has been admitted as Plaintiff's Exhibit D. This is the tag that was issued for MJ Auto for the 2007 Mazda, correct?
Yes.
And what's the date it expires?
February 18th.
And if you recall, what was the date that Mr. Guerrero purchased the vehicle from Mr. Guerrero, from Mr. Reina?
The what?
If you recall, well, I'm going to show you Plaintiff's Exhibit number 2, and what is the date for Mr. Guerrero's purchase of the vehicle from?
Yes, that is 16 March.
And this tag, which is Plaintiff's Exhibit number D, was not issued when Mr. Guerrero purchased the vehicle, correct? Yes. This was issued when Mr. Reina purchased the vehicle from MJ Auto, correct? Yes. How long do temporary tags last?
Just 2 months.
How many months?
2 months.
Okay. And so when was this temporary tag issued?
It was issued on December 17 or so.
What was that date again?
December 17,
Thank you.
December 17, 2018.
2018.
And this tag was issued to Mr. Reyna, correct?
Yes.
Pass witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Aina, on that temporary tag, if you could leave that up, Seth, please, one question. Do you see Mr. Reyna's name on there?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
I'm going to call plaintiff calls Mr. Abdul Kabar Ishola.
Yeah.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys want to take a break, or how are you guys doing?
We can take a break, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't we take a quick 5-minute break?
5-minute break, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, Juan, can you check on Mr. Guerrero? Because I don't think he's on the screen. You're on mute.
I redid it on the computer, so the judge would have to let him in.
Okay.
Mr. Seth, so I don't have to ask when we get started, how do you spell your client's name or your next witness's name? You're on mute.
Abdulkaber. I'm sorry, two E's at the end. Beer. Ishola.
Those are three different names or the first one altogether?
There's just one word first name, Abdulkaber.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
No, don't be sorry. I appreciate you.
And Ms. Rager, can I get your email so I can send you plaintiff's exhibits?
Okay, it's my initials. T is in Tony.
Mhm.
A is in Antoinette or Apple. And then my last name, REAGOR @yahoo.com.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is everyone back on?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's proceed.
Defense calls Abdulkaber Ishola.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Ishola, what's your relationship to Mr. Aina?
Mr. Aina is my brother.
And what's your relationship, if any, to MJ Otto?
I also work in MG Auto.
And what's your relationship, if any, to Mr. Reyna?
Mr. Reyna is a mechanic I used to repair cars with.
And he used to repair cars for you?
For me, yes, he repairs cars for me.
Okay. Has he ever been an employee of MJ Auto?
Never.
Has he ever worked for MJ Auto?
No.
Has he ever repaired cars for MJ Auto?
No.
Okay. And when you said repaired cars for you, and when did that happen?
I used to take cars to him to help me fix if I have problem with my cars. So even what led to this transaction was I took that car to him that the motor was bad, and I wanted him to check it for me. And when he told me the cost of the repair, I said it was too much. I would prefer to take it back to the auction. And he said he was interested in buying it. And I told him, yes, you can buy it, but I'm selling it as it is. It's not a running car. And he agreed. And I gave him a bill of sale, which stated it there that I sold the car to him the way it is.
And I'm going to show you what has been admitted as defendant's exhibit. Defendant's exhibit 1. Mr. Ishola, This is defendant's exhibit number 1. Is this the bill of sale for the vehicle from MJ Auto to Mr. Reyna?
That's correct.
And how much did MJ Auto purchase the car from? What was the price of the car when it was purchased from Coparts?
We purchased it for around 1,800 or thereabout.
Okay. And then why did MJ Auto sell it to Mr. Reyna?
He told me he wanted it, that he's gonna fix the car, that he wanted it, I should sell it to him the way it was.
And how much did MJ Auto sell the car to Mr. Reyna for?
I sold it to him for $2,000.
I'm showing you what's his defendant's exhibit number 1. Who's the seller on this document?
I am the seller, a representative of MG Auto.
And that's your name, correct?
That's correct.
And this is your signature, correct?
That's correct.
I'm showing you what's been admitted as defendant's exhibit number 2. Had you seen this document before this litigation?
Yes, I've seen this document.
Okay. Is that your signature?
That's not my signature.
Is this MJ Auto's bill of sale?
That's not MJ Auto's bill of sale.
Okay. And when, if ever, did you first see this document?
I saw this document when I went to meet Mr. Reyna, and I told him there was a complaint with regards to this car. And he pulled out this document and he showed me, he said he sold the car to the buyer and he fixed the car. The car was driving in a good condition, and he gave him a bill of sale that he also gave him the bill of sale to let him know that because he brought the car previously, he said it was faulty, he fixed it and gave it back to him. So he didn't want any trouble. So that was why he said he gave him a bill of sale, which stated that he was selling the car to him the way it was. But I didn't issue this bill of sale. I didn't even meet the buyer. I've never met him. I don't know him.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what has been admitted. I'm going to show you plaintiff's exhibit number D. Have you ever seen this document before?
Yes, I have.
What is this document?
This is a temporary tag which I gave to Mr. Reyna, the mechanic who bought the car. So after he bought the car, I gave him a temporary tag in his name, and I asked him to go and do the title transfer himself.
And when, if ever, did Mr. Reyna do the title transfer?
I don't know anything about what he told me was he was having difficulty doing the title transfer, and he wants me to help him with the title transfer. And even while we sold the car to him, he was aware it was a salvage title.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as plaintiff's exhibit number E. What is this document?
This is a rebuilt title, which was done for him.
Okay. And what is the vehicle is identified as a rebuilt, salvaged, damaged vehicle in this title, correct?
Okay, what that means is the vehicle was previously a salvaged vehicle. It was repaired and fixed, and then now it's a rebuilt title. It's just like a clean title, but it was previously a salvaged title. So the salvaged title has been damaged, and now they are issuing a rebuilt title, which is a blue title, just like a clean title.
And why is this title MJ Auto to Juan Guerrero?
It was because Reyna brought the title, and he told me Mr. Saul was like his brother, that he was just trying to help him. He sold the car to him, and he wants to just help him. That was why.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
Same.
Mr. Ashola, what was your understanding as to why MJ Auto needed to issue a title to Mr. Guerrero? What was your understanding?
My understanding was Mr. Guerrero was a brother to Mr. Reyna, who gave us the title to help him to do a registration, and we used to help customers do registration of titles.
Okay. And how much did you or MJ Auto receive to help Mr. Reyna with the title?
With the title, we charged him $450.
And so what was a sum total of money ever received by MJ Auto on account of this 2007 Mazda?
The $2,000 for the purchase of the car and the $450 for the title.
I can't hear you.
I said the $2,000 received for the car, and then the $450 for the title and registration. Yes.
When, if ever, did MJ Auto advertise this vehicle and its sale?
We never advertised the vehicle. Like I said, I took it to the mechanic to go and get it fixed, and he told me he liked it. He wanted to buy it the way it was, that he's going to fix it and use it. So that was what he told me, and I sold it directly to the mechanic.
And how does say, Your Honor?
Overruled.
And how does MJ Auto advertise vehicles that it's selling?
We advertise through online platforms, and in our dealership address, we put the cars outside there and we advertise them there as well.
And what online platforms are used to advertise specific vehicles for sale?
We use OfferUp, 5 Miles, Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. And when, if ever, did MJ Auto advertise this vehicle, 2007 Mazda, for sale?
We never advertised this vehicle for sale.
Why not?
Because we didn't fix the car. Like I said, I saw the car was not in a working condition. I took it to the mechanic, and the mechanic said he was interested in buying it, and I sold it to him. We never advertised the car for sale.
What I'm going to show you plaintiff's exhibit number B. What was your reaction when you saw that your name, when you saw your name on this bill of sale, when you saw this bill of sale? What was your reaction?
Well, I was surprised. I was astonished because I knew I didn't sign that document. You can see it's not even my handwriting. It doesn't look like my handwriting.
Okay, I'll share screen. Explain what you mean.
What I'm saying is the signature there, it doesn't look like my handwriting. If you go back to the bill of sale, which I issued to Mr. Reyna, my handwriting, I was the one who issued that bill of sale, and that was my handwriting. So this signature is different from my handwriting here.
Are you familiar with Mr. Reyna's handwriting?
I'm not very familiar with these.
Well, you've seen his handwriting before, correct?
Yes, I have.
And in fact, he signed MJ Auto's bill of sale, which is Exhibit C, correct?
Yes.
And you've now seen exhibit number B.
Mm-hmm.
And being familiar with Mr. Reyna's signature from exhibit B and from other documents you've seen, whose signature is this on this document?
To be honest, I don't know whose signature it is.
But you know it's not yours.
It's not mine.
And when was the last time MJ Auto ever saw that 2007 vehicle?
The last time was when I sold it to Mr. Reyna, and I didn't know anything about it until this case propped up.
And what was the date of that sale?
That was in December 2018. I don't exactly remember the date.
And that was when this exhibit number D was issued, correct?
That's correct. And it lasted for 2 months, and it expired even before the transaction between Mr. Reyna and the buyer who is suing us on this case. So we never issued any temporary tag to the buyer directly.
Pass witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Ross?
Yes, Your Honor. Sir, can you state your name again for the record?
Abdul Kabir Ishola.
And you're saying that the signature on Are you able to see Plaintiff's Exhibit B on your screen?
Yes, I can.
And you're saying that that's not your signature?
It's not even our bill of sale. It's not my signature. It's not our bill of sale.
Okay, but is that your name?
That's my name.
Okay. And if we look at the dealer tags, that lists MJ Auto as a seller, correct?
Correct.
And you stated a few minutes ago that the last time that you had anything to do with the vehicle was when you claimed to have sold it to Mr. Reyna at the end of 2018. Is that
So that was
correct?
the last time I saw the vehicle. That was the question I was asked. And I said, yes, that was the last time I saw the vehicle.
Is that the last time you were involved with the vehicle?
That I saw the vehicle.
I'm asking you if that was the last time that you were involved with the vehicle in any way.
The last time I was involved was when he came with the title for registration. He gave it to me that he needed help with the registration.
Okay. Was that because MJ Auto was still the owner?
It wasn't because MJ Auto was the owner. It was because the owner was, we already sold the car to Mr. Reyna, and the salvage title was assigned to Mr. Reyna.
Okay, well, let me show you Plaintiff's Exhibit E. Right here, can you see my cursor on the document?
Yes, I can.
Who is listed as the previous owner on this title?
It says MJ Auto because it was MJ Auto that bought the car directly from the auction. That's why.
Okay, and who is the owner after this document the title is transferred?
It's Saul Perez, and like I said earlier, we do registration for people, and because Mr. Beto Reyna said that he was helping his brother, he needed help with the title. That was why we did it for him, because we gave him the title, we asked him to go and do the registration himself. And then later he said
after Saul Guerrero, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. The
Ooh.
witness.
Go ahead.
Sir, you stated that you do title transfer for customers, correct?
Correct.
And you did a title transfer for Mr. Guerrero, didn't you?
We
Yes
did
or no?
We did the title transfer. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ashola, have you ever met Mr. Guerrero before, the plaintiff in this case?
Never.
Okay. And who did you receive money for to do the title? Who did you receive money from?
I received it from Mr. Alberto Reyna.
And who did you do the title transfer for?
We did it for his brother, who he said is a plaintiff here.
That's witness, Your Honor.
What did you say, Mr. Garcia?
Nothing further.
All right. I'll call your next witness, Mr. Niganoff.
No further witness, Your Honor. Defense rise.
All right. The main question I have at this point, before we do closings, is, this title transfer stuff's a bit of a mess, but based on the evidence that's been presented and all the documents, I find that the MJ Auto did transfer this, based on the documents, to the plaintiff. The only question I have is, it's an as-is even in an as-is warranty, even in the bill of sale that is disputed by MJ Auto. And so what effect does that have on whether or not you can recover damages for it being a salvage title? I guess that's my real question here. Can you still recover damages, DTPA damages in that situation or not? Mr. Garcia, do you have any case law on that? Mr. Garcia, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me pull that up for you.
And Your Honor, if I may, I don't think they've established any representations from my clients or anybody associated with my clients to them. They may have established that there was a transfer title from my clients to their clients, but not one representation, not one, never. There's no connection between Mr. Reyna and my client other than he's a mechanic who purchased. I
understand that's what you're arguing. I don't find that that's credible based on the documents. I find based on the documents that they own the vehicle and they transferred it to the plaintiff. And so I understand you're trying to make this argument. I don't find that argument credible based on the evidence. And so I'm finding that this was transferred directly from NJ Auto to the plaintiff based on the documents. I mean, that's what the documents say. And so I don't know if this was some, anyway, and there should have been, anyway, I won't go into more detail about that. So given that, my main question is what I just said, is in that transfer document that I find is the appropriate transfer document in this case, it says it's an as-is title or as-is guarantee. If you want to pull that up, Mr. Garcia, is it still fraud that this was transferred the way it was? Mr. Garcia, are you trying to pull something up?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to pull up the bill of sale for you while I look up that case law so I can provide it to the court.
Right. See, it says in that paragraph, the undersigned buyer except received this bill of sale and understand this vehicle is sold as is condition with no guarantees or warranties, either expressed or implied for the vehicle. The seller assumes no responsibility for any repairs, regardless of any oral statements or agreements about the item being purchased upon the signing of the we have read and agreed to the term and conditions set forth on this bill of sale. I mean, that's what's in this bill of sale even. So given that that's in there, and I find this is the operative bill of sale, what damages are recoverable for this if there is a salvage title?
Yes, Your Honor, and I would refer the court to Prudential Insurance Co. of America versus Jefferson Associates Limited.
Go ahead and pull that up.
A plaintiff will not be bound by an as-is clause if there was a misrepresentation, concealment of information, or impairment of inspection. The court should look at the nature of the transaction and totality of circumstances surrounding the agreement to determine whether the as-is clause should be enforced. There's been testimony from plaintiff that the actual misrepresentations that were made to plaintiff involved the actual running and mechanical condition of the vehicle, as well as what is a clean title compared to a salvage title, which affects the value of a vehicle. Plaintiff had testified that the vehicle was returned within 2 days due to the issues that were not disclosed and were misrepresented to plaintiff. Plaintiff incurred those expenses that plaintiff testified to as $5,500, $300, and then an additional $200 for a total of $7,800 as a result of these misrepresentations and concealment of information.
If I may respond. Yes, Your Honor. First off, if you look at the two bills of sale, you'll see that the car was actually driven afterwards, and you'll note also the testimony wasn't it broke down 2 days after received it. The testimony was that he had it for months before it stopped working, and he returned it for the engine to be rebuilt after that to Mr. Reyna, and then Mr. Reyna disappeared with the vehicle. My clients never had it afterwards. So to pin on my clients the rebuild of the engine and whether or not that operated correctly would be inappropriate, especially since the plaintiff had the vehicle for a long time. There's no testimony at all that the plaintiff was not offered an opportunity to inspect the vehicle or otherwise test drive it, etc. It's just simply he's saying, well, it just stopped working, so I think I should get my money back. And that's not the entirety of the case. The entirety of the case is that he had it for months before it stopped working.
Yeah, I don't find that credible either. But I do. The main issue I have here is, and I understand, Mr. Nicomoff, that you disagree with this or your client has a different position on this. My factual finding is that this was sold with the second bill of sale based on the totality of the evidence And so, but the question is, what are the damages based on that? And is this something that should he be bound by the as is clause under this case law? And so,
well, Your Honor, I think the answer is absolutely he's bound by it, seeing as how he had the car for months afterwards. And also there's no testimony at all that there's some fraudulent concealment.
The testimony is that they concealed the title. That, I mean, when he bought it, he wouldn't have known that the title was a salvage title. And so I do think that's the concealment to me, is that he could have inspected it. Sir, you've testified already. I apologize, but I'm just making rulings at this point. So that it's a legal question to me, which is he concealed I find that he concealed the existence of the salvage title. What are the damages associated with that?
But Your Honor, the testimony wasn't at all that he returned the vehicle absolutely after he found out it was a salvage title. In fact, the testimony was that he received the title and then drove it afterwards. He didn't take it back because it was a salvage title. He took it back because it didn't work anymore. That was the testimony. The testimony was he had it for months, and then he got the title, and then
I thought it stopped working after 2 days.
He said it stopped working 2 days after he received the title, which occurred months after he received the vehicle. That was
maybe I misunderstood, Mr. Garcia. Is that right?
Your Honor, I could ask the witness to clarify.
But I asked the witness, and he said he had the vehicle for between 1 month and 3 months, and then he got it and he drove it for 2 days after he got the title, and then it broke down and he returned it because the engine wasn't working correctly. He didn't at all complain of the salvage
That's not
title.
my understanding, but maybe you're right. Mr. Garcia, why don't you ask the witness to clarify it, or we can ask the court reporter to read it back. But ask him when he stopped driving it.
Mr. Guerrero, after you received the vehicle, how long before the vehicle broke down?
Cuando me dieron el título, que lo empecé a manejar 2 días y se desbarató, y a la semana lo traje, y aquí se quedó mucho tiempo con él, unos 2 meses, no sé cuánto se quedaría. Y ya me dijo que ya estaba bien, vine a recogerlo y el carro iba fallando y no lo manejamos allá, lo trajimos en una traila para atrás, y me dijo, ¿por qué lo traen en traila? Porque le dije de los códigos que salían muchos códigos. Dijo, se me olvidó quitárselos. Y luego cuando llegamos con el carro en la traila, dijo, ¿por qué lo traen en traila? Porque no sirve.
Well, it was a couple of days. It was a couple of days after I got the title. We brought it back immediately after that, like a week later. And then he kept it for months. And then when we finally got it again, I had to bring it back on a trailer again. And then he asked me, why are you bringing it back on a trailer? And I said, well, because there's a lot of codes that are showing up. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to remove those codes. But why are you bringing it back on the trailer? And I said, well, because of all those codes. And then he said, well, that's when I asked him for my money back.
What are codes? I'm not sure what that means.
Salen unos códigos del carro, está mal, lo meten a la computadora y todo lo que está desbaratado, algo así, que no sirve.
Well, the codes show up.
El carro no sirve.
The codes show up when you connect the car to a computer, and it tells you that the car doesn't work, that something's wrong with the car. It's some codes that show up on the car.
Okay. It's still not 100% clear to me. So he had the car. Did he drive the car for a couple of months before he got the title?
No, porque cuando me llevé el carro, no, duraron mucho tiempo para hacer papeles, que le dije que no me habían cambiado el título, todo duraron un tiempo con el título aquí para cambiarlo ellos, y después me lo mandaron. Aparte lo empecé a manejar 2 días, lo manejamos cuando se desbarató el carro.
No, because it took them. No, because it took them months before I was able to get a title, so I wasn't able to drive it. And then I was only able to drive it a couple of days before I ended up having to take it back because the car didn't work.
So he didn't drive it when he didn't have the title?
Oh, no lo podía manejar porque no tenía placa, no tenía nada. Ellos me mandaron todo.
No. I couldn't drive it because it didn't have plates. It didn't have anything.
Give me 1 second. So what I really want to know, I guess, at this point, this is for the attorneys, is what is the proper measure of damages here? Is it, my thought would be, but I don't have my DTPA. I don't believe I can go check. I don't think I have my DTPA pattern jury charge, but I believe it would be the difference in value between what he was sold and what he was represented that he was sold. And who ended up with the car? Did he end up with the car, or who ended up with the car?
The vehicle was returned, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, the testimony was that he was returned to Mr. Reyna. My clients testified that MJ Auto has never seen the vehicle since they sold it to Mr. Reyna. It's not on their lot. It's nowhere there.
Who's the current title owner of the vehicle?
Mr. Guerrero.
And no one knows where the vehicle is now?
That's correct, Your Honor. My clients know that they don't have it. So I mean, so no, I don't think it'd be correct to say nowhere knows where it is. My clients don't have it.
Okay. All right. So the issue is, for calculation of damages, is it the value of the vehicle he's bought it for $5,000. Is it 5,000? Is it like the plaintiff says, where it's 5,000 times, I guess, plus 500? Is that it?
But Your Honor, that's
whoa.
Testimony, Your Honor. Yes.
I'm just trying to see what the plaintiff's argument is. So 500. Your argument is 500 plus 5,000 plus 2,000 for the replacement cost times 3 plus attorney's fees. That's what your argument is.
Plus 300, Your Honor, for the insurance that was acquired for the vehicle. 7,800 total times 3
plus attorney's fees.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then what is your argument as to the proper measure of damages? You can just say 0, or I can give you an opportunity to do research. You could do a trial brief on this.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm happy to do. Answer is yes, and I'm happy to do a trial brief explaining why. There's no fraudulent concealment.
Okay, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
The only thing I want is, what is the proper measure of damages?
0, because sold as is, whereas.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can take that position, and then I'm just going to give what the plaintiff's asking. If you want to come up with an alternate base, I know you don't agree with the findings, but assuming that these are the findings, and I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff, what is the proper measure of damages? That is the question I have. And so you can research the as-is thing if you want to, and you can, because I'm not sure, 100% sure, is concealment of information. Would that be a situation where they hid the salvage title? You can research that, and you can research the amount of proper damages, assuming I find in favor of the plaintiff. You can do a brief on other things. I'm going to give you 2 pages to do this in. So, so if you want to include a bunch of other stuff that I've already ruled on, you can. But
I think what I was saying, Your Honor, is that this idea that they were damaged because it was a salvage title. The testimony was he never complained about the salvage title. He didn't sue because of the salvage title. He sued because the engine wasn't working. That was the testimony.
Well,
the testimony wasn't I returned it because it was a salvage title.
So my thought on this is, it's either going to be 5,000. The base is going to be 5,000, and it's either going to be 5,000. Is the measure of damages 5,000, or the value of the vehicle, or the selling price, which is 5,000, minus the salvage value, which I think he testified that salvage value is 2,000, is what it was sold for. I don't know if he said 2 or 3. I couldn't really understand him. And then you triple that, or is it 5,000? You triple that. Also, are these the replacement costs, the place in vehicle, is that something that he can recover for? I'm not sure that he can. That's what I want briefing on. So you can argue all this other stuff if you want. You have 2 pages to do it, both sides, to brief this. And Mr. Garcia, you don't have to brief if you don't want to. But I would encourage you to do that. I would like this by tomorrow at noon. So you have 2 pages, anything over 2 pages, I'm not going to read. If you do cite the cases, you can attach the cases, but anything over 2 pages, I'm not going to consider. All right. Anything else, guys?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Tomorrow at noon, and make sure you e-file it and email it to my court coordinator. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, guys. You have a great day.